Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we're passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our takes on each contestant. We'll give you our feedback on their voice and the overall performance. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll 100 with our feedback and critiques of each contestant's vocal and overall performance. But what we're not here to do is come for anyone's character or any contestant as a human being, although we may come off a little bitchy at times, if you know what I mean. We'll do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. And with that, let's jump right into night 5 of the blinds. Oh my goodness, we had another 2-hour night, Stephanie, with crazy vocals. It was insane from start to finish.
Absolutely. Another great night.
With a little insanity in between, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about today because there were so many crazy singers. You know, Gwen brought up a really good point, Stephanie. She said, we have never had so many 4-chair turns in a season yet. And Stephanie and I made that remark like early. We were like, what is going on here? It's like bomb singer after bomb singer after bomb singer. It was just nuts.
Absolutely.
So who do we have first?
Up first, we had Lila Forde from Seattle, Washington, and she sang Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith.
As you all could see, she was obviously a 4-chair turn. And I'm starting to see a pattern, like our first spot and our last spots are going to give you some of the craziest, most insane auditions of this show. And Lila is just, she's of another world. She's of another world called the Woods of Washington.
Come on.
I'm going to call her the Woods of Washington. I literally just made that up off the top of my head. Because her backstory talked about, you know, how she grew up. Really, her parents were hippies and they ran meditation clinics and in the middle of the woods, lived on some island in Washington State. And so I'm going to digress for a second, but there is a point to this. One of my favorite singers of all times is Rochelle Farrell. And Rochelle Farrell used to say, when she was a kid, she lived so far kind of out of this, not close to the city, that she used to, at certain times during the day, not be able to get the radio frequency when she was a little girl. So what she would do is she would listen to sounds of nature. And she would mimic the birds. And the sounds of nature. And I just feel like this singer is that type of singer because she had a sound all of her own. I said about her, she had an extremely melodic voice. I said, her voice is music. And I hope you all understand what I mean by that. Yes, a lot of voices make music. Her voice is music. I literally saw the notes coming from her throat, from those vocal cords. I said it's a very original singer-songwriter voice, very 70s sound, but like no other sound that we've ever heard. I said she is my crazy dark horse frontrunner. Not just dark horse frontrunner, she is the crazy dark horse frontrunner because nobody's doing what she's doing. I said, when I put in my good ears with her, Stephanie, I loved it because I heard what she was doing with the yodel. I was like, what are you doing, young lady? I said, she was taking her voice and using the yodel as a transition between different vocal ranges. I said, it was just a very stylish choice and original choice of the use of the yodel. And I just don't know singers that do that. I don't know any singer that does anything that she does. That's why they were losing their mind. So why are they losing their mind? I said, she's got a really funky, cool voice. But when I put her in my good ear, Stephanie, I started to lose my mind. Because I was like, she is doing things that no one does, point blank, period. Stephanie, what say you?
1000%. When I put her in my good ears, and I was actually listening with my good ears, but sometimes it's difficult for me to really listen to the full of the performance because I'm writing notes and doing all this and that. So it's usually my second time around that I get a really good concentrated listen to what each performer is doing. I was like, wait, she sounded like she was singing on her break. She was singing on her vocal break. Like she was floating between chest voice and falsetto so effortlessly that it was just like, it's something I had never heard anybody else do. At the beginning of her performance, the very, very, very beginning, like the first 5 seconds, I was like, wait a minute, is she Dido? Like she sounded like the singer Dido that's saying thank you.
Yeah.
And also was featured. Yes, and also was featured on Stan, I believe, Eminem's song. Yep. But then the more she sang, I was like, I'm hearing some Joni Mitchell. I'm hearing some Jewel as well. But you're right. She had this interesting like yodel thing that she would do. I called it an ethereal yodel. Like she was ethereal yodel running through the song. And it was so crazy. It was so cool. Her voice sounded like the earth. So you like summed it up perfectly. Like it sounded like the earth. If I didn't know about her background, I could have guessed through what she was doing vocally and just her whole aura and essence. It was phenomenal. I loved Lila.
Yeah. It was crazy. And I think I know the reason why she picked who she picked as her coach.
Yes.
Because I thought what John said was so profound.
Yeah.
When he was kind of pitching himself to her. He said, you gig, don't you? I mean, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, and you know, it's frustrating sometimes, isn't it? Like he totally came from a place of empathy.
Yes.
He's like, you know, it's frustrating sometimes, isn't it? Like I can see, like, you know, when you put your heart and soul into something and you just want people to, like you're gigging and you just want people to listen and like your stuff so much and you know what you can do and blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, no, she's going with John because John, he's a very, very intelligent man. And he literally saw what I think he needed. And I think that this was strategic on John's part and strategic. I think it was symbiosis on both of their part. They're both going to benefit from it because she needs John because nobody on John's team is like her. And he needs her for the same reason.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
So I think that was a huge pickup for both the singer and the coach.
Absolutely. And at the end of the whole segment, at the very end, we got the Welcome to Team Legend song that we have not heard in a season or two because Lila had her keyboard she was playing as she was singing. And he just hopped on the keyboard and did his Welcome to Team Legend. And I was like, yes, I love it. I loved it, loved it. Yes.
So this is going to be one that we're going to really keep our eye on because I have no clue what she's going to sing. And if she keeps that same styling on every song, it is going to like be hearing a song for the first time each time.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I'm very excited. She's a very exciting voice.
Yes.
Who's next?
Next up was Angelina Nazarian. She is 17 years old and she's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, also living in Dubai as of recently. And she sang The Trouble with Love Is by the Kelly Clarkson.
The Kelly Clarkson. Woo, yes. Girl, be glad that Kelly Clarkson was not on this season because we always know, not saying that you sang it bad, Angelina, but we always know that it's very scary when you sing a song of a judge, but she's not on this season. So great song. I love her speaking voice. I thought it was a very nice interpretation. I thought she was a very good performer. I need Angelina, I need you to watch your pitch a little bit, and the transitions between the high and the low register. I thought you have a very strong high, very good low. I said, but it's always hard. And that's the passaggio or the passage that you got to get through to transition between the high and low. That's kind of what makes Kelly so ridiculous of a singer is because she has mastered her passage or her passaggio. I think I loved her energy too. I just thought Angelina was a light to me. She was a light. Like you can tell again, she loves to perform and was ready. Was really ready. to be so mature at 17 was amazing. What about you?
I heard some soul up in her throat.
Oh yeah.
I heard a little Ariana. I even heard a little Joss Stone at moments, which was really cool. I think Angelina is very, very talented. I think she's gotten a very strong instrument, as we like to say. And there were a couple moments within that performance where it was just like, whoa. Like she did one really cool run at.
I went back and listened. Stephanie, woo, she did sing that run.
Right, she sang that run down. I was like, yes. I had to remind myself that she was 17 years old.
Right.
And this is probably the biggest stage that she's ever been on. And, that goes for many of the artists that come on this show. So we kind of can't forget. I think I tend to forget, like, where they are and what they're doing and what this stage and this atmosphere really is and how nerves could come into play. There were some choices and some pitch issues here and there. I chalk that up to nerves. I think that this entire experience, as we have talked about before, and they've called it this on the show, boot camp. Yeah. Where it is an intensive of vocal control, and performance and every aspect that these artists need to really move forward in not only in the competition, but in this career. So I think that Angelina is going to really embrace all of the resources that The Voice has, and that is going to propel her into the next round. So I'm really, really interested and excited to see what she's going to do in the next round.
Me too. Who did she wind up going with?
Coach Reba.
Yeah, very, very smart. Reba alluded to this a little bit later in the show, but Reba, excuse me, has a very eclectic team.
Yes, she does.
Very eclectic. She even said, she's like, I thought I had more country, but no, Reba's coming with just the many different genres, which I think is only to her benefit.
Yes, love it.
As a coach, because I think Reba's a really good coach.
Oh yeah,
especially with storytelling, selling a song, and how to work a stage.
1000%.
All right. So who do we have next?
Next up was Tanner Massey.
Oh, Tanner.
Yes, 19 years old from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and he sang "Before You Go" by Lewis Capaldi.
Tanner was 19, and Tanner, you look like you're 12. Like you look like a really young kid.
Baby face.
Yeah, very baby face. I loved your backstory. I love all the experience that you've gotten. I said, you know what, Tanner, Lewis Capaldi is that's not. You got to be able to sing if you sing Lewis Capaldi. That man's got chops and a half. And I said, you know, he's got a very nice range. Tanner has a very nice range, nice control. I said, the only thing that I would say, Tanner, is watch your breath support in your lower register. I think people don't spend enough time, not just you, Tanner, a lot of singers, a lot of really good singers like you, don't spend enough time and really work on their lows as much as they work on their money notes or their highs. I loved what you did in your runs. Like there was a run you ran off at the end of the song. I said, you better sing, son.
Yes.
And Tanner, you know what? You got that look. You just look like a star, dude.
Yes.
But I did think, as far as song choices, I thought the song was a little big for him. I think that Tanner could have picked another song because of when they played his B story. I was like, oh, this boy can blow, because you can sing, sir. And I want you to pick songs that aren't so big or showy, because you have a good enough voice where you don't have to be big and showy. If that makes sense. So, Stephanie?
Yeah, I wrote down he power balladed the end of that song. Like it just felt like he went into another gear once it hit into the chorus and the bridge and the chorus again. Because like you said at the beginning, I felt like he was almost, I wrote down he was biting his words. Like it just felt like there was like some kind of squelching of the lyrics and of his breath support or whatever that just wasn't completely connecting with me at the beginning. But once he got into that chorus, I was like, whoa, it's literally like he hit the gear shift and it just opened up. Everything just opened up and it was phenomenal. I actually was wondering why they didn't turn for him sooner than what they did, because by the time he did get to that chorus and that bridge, it was like, oh, this dude can sing. Like, for
Very,
real, for
very
real.
unique, mature tone.
Absolutely. You know who he reminded me of? Shawn Mendes. He was giving me Shawn Mendes vibes,
He did.
vocally and just in his look as well.
Yeah.
So and like you said, that you took the words off of my page. He sang his heart out in that last chorus, and the run that he did at the very end, I was like, oh, you are singing for your life right now. And I really felt, that's when I felt like he connected most with the song and he was able to convey that to us. And I believe by then chairs had turned, but that's when I was like, oh, Tanner, okay, this is what you're going to bring into the next round, and I can't wait to see what he does.
It's always interesting when the teens come with it. Because to me, I see more of an evolution when they come on The Voice and make it through the rounds.
1000%.
Like Gina did. I mean, Gina came and won the doggone thing, right? And you actually saw a evolution in Gina throughout the entire season. So adults need to really look out for the teen singers because they have more room to grow and more room to just get better and more just professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so who did he go with?
Coach Niall.
Niall, and that's a huge pickup for Niall because Niall does specialize in younger singers.
Yes.
I saw that with his inaugural season winning.
Right.
So good choice. And that's going to be really a great collaboration.
Absolutely.
All right. Who is next?
And next up is JaRae Womack from West Palm Beach, Florida, 35 years old. And y'all, she sang Back to Black by the Amy Winehouse.
R.I.P. to Amy Winehouse, one of the greatest voices of all times ever. Gone way terribly too soon.
Yeah.
Woo, R.I.P. Amy Winehouse. Okay, now, let me give you all a little background information before I get into JaRae. JaRae's last name is Womack, okay? A lot of you may not know, but she comes from singing royalty. So her grandfather, Cecil Womack, was a writer of one of the biggest, Teddy Pendergrass, who was one of the biggest soul singers of the 70s, songs, Love TKO.
Yes.
Which it's just, check out the song.
Yes.
And check out Teddy P singing that song. It's one of those songs that's hallowed ground. You can't have many people sing this song.
That's right.
But then when she had the nerve to say her uncle was the Bobby Womack, which I grew up on because my parents were huge Bobby Womack fans. And Bobby Womack was for years behind the scenes, but he had a one monster hit. The hit was so big that Mariah Carey actually mentioned the song in one of her songs.
Oh, yes. If you think you're lonely now, wait a minute, this is too deep.
The song was that big that the Mariah Carey put Bobby Womack's song as a lyric in one of her songs. And this was a song that Casey and JoJo of Jodeci redid as well. If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. You got to check that song out too. So she comes from soul royalty. And I just loved everything about her. I loved her bald head. I loved her glasses. I loved her look. I loved her makeup, everything, her story. She's a single mom just trying to do it for her son, but put singing on the back burner to raise her son. And just incredible story. But then Back to Black, you all have to understand, I was a little nervous before she started singing. I said, no, 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 no. You don't come on these shows singing no Amy Winehouse if you say. Stephanie and I are like, ugh. But I said, you know what, JaRae? I said, how dare you come on The Voice and give us a finale performance in the blind audition.
That's right. That's right.
I said, how dare you give us a finale performance in the blind auditions?
Oh, it was a vocal TKO.
It was, I know that's right, Stephanie. Boom. No, shoot, that was a KO. She knocked
That
me.
was a KO.
Let me tell you, I said she gave us drama.
Yes.
I said, did y'all hear her, the way she phrased it?
Come on, phrasing.
He phrased it. This just goes to show you, if you figure out the phrasing of a song in your own phrasing, although it is a risk, it is a calculated risk,
Yeah.
but it was almost as if she rewrote this song because she changed, especially the beginning of the song, she changed the phrasing.
That's right.
Where it's almost like the coaches were like, what is she singing?
Right.
I said, she told the Back to Black story.
Absolutely.
Like, I said, I put Amy Winehouse, God rest her soul. I said she made Amy Winehouse proud.
Absolutely.
With
Absolutely.
that performance.
Yeah.
I said she spoke to us with her voice.
Come on, emote.
And I said, there is a voice that she reminds me of. And I said, I got it. I had to look this up, and I looked it up on YouTube under the comments, and somebody else put this comment of the voice I was thinking of, the lead singer from Alabama Shakes.
Well, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I'll send you some of her stuff.
Okay.
Yes, the lead singer from Alabama Shakes, who kind of favors her.
Okay.
Brittany, I can't remember Brittany's last name, but I'll make sure I'll send it to you so you know.
Okay.
So you'll be like, yes, of course. It was a beyond. It was almost like she was a visiting artist.
That's right.
Coming to do a guest spot.
That's right.
It wasn't even as if she was a contestant.
No.
Stephanie?
No. I was sold with the hum. She came in humming, I would have been like, pow! Her voice was studio quality, like mixed. It sounded pre-mixed, what she was doing live. It was so incredible. There were so many different layers that I heard. There was a theatrical layer. You got the drama. There was that power. Yeah. She sounded like a professional singer, but not in a sterile way. And she also sounded classically trained. Yes. I think that was the phrasing bit of it. And there was soul behind it. John made a comment that he couldn't tell if she was like a soul R&B singer or just a soul singer or what kind of singer, but he felt the soul within her vocal, which I completely agree with. And I completely agree with you, James. This was not a blind audition. No, she sounded like she was the guest artist in the midst of the blind auditions. Yeah. And that's not just vocally. It was her overall presence on the stage. Like I could barely write down notes because I was just so captivated watching and listening to her. This is another one that felt like a Bond song, like just an epic performance, an epic vocal, just so dynamic and so captivating. It was phenomenal. You know what? I don't know why this song, but I want to hear her sing some Anita. I want to hear her sing Sweet Love. I think that like she would just blow that away. I don't know why that song stuck out in my head while I was listening to this performance.
I think she changed up the phrasing.
Oh, I think so too.
It wouldn't be offensive.
Absolutely, 1000%. It was an incredible performance. Incredible.
She's such an artist.
Yeah.
She's such an artist because an artist is not just about the voice. It's about the look. It's about the
everything.
It's about the aura, as they say.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah, gosh, there are so many front runners. It's driving me crazy. It's making my head spin. But I'll go back to Black on that one.
Yes.
Woo! That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So who did she wind up picking?
Welcome to Team Legend.
Oh, huge,
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we already know John Legend is going to have a bench.
That's right.
He's going to have a bench every season.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Can't wait to see what she does.
Oh,
JaRae, y'all watch out. That's another one I would not want to see her on the other side of the battles or knockouts.
That's right.
Nope.
That's right. You better pray for a steal.
Just take it.
Yep, pray for a steal.
Yeah.
Do good enough to get a steal.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right. So who do we have next?
Next up was Brandon Montel, 29 years old, from Memphis, Tennessee, and he sang Hard Place by Her. Yes.
Come on, Brandon.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I love this song. I love that you picked this song. She's just her. She writes the most incredible songs that can be done, songs that can be interpreted if done right. And she lets you like have liberties in the song. And I just love it. Yes. I said, first of all, this is one of the hardest songs to start. Even her struggles with this song because it starts so low in the register. But I must say, Stephanie, I was going to come at Brandon for his lows, but I went back and put it in my good ears. No. He sang the snot out of the opening of that song, and that which made me even more impressed because I was like, like it's just low.
Yes.
It's just low.
Yes.
Like, and you go up from there, and it's crazy. I said, Brandon truly does have range.
Oh,
He's
yes.
got crazy range. Because let me tell you, this is a singer who I think takes as much time in his lower register, as much delicate working of his lower register as he does his upper extension, because the extension was just next dimensional. It was fire. I said, I love his runs. I love the gospel growl in his voice.
Come on.
I said, I need Chance Trent D'Arby. I need wishing well. Like, I need him to sing that song. Like, he's got, I hear rock, pop, soul.
Ooh.
All voice. And he's got a very, very, like, sell songy voice. Like, I said, this dude is amazing.
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes. He was singing in the cut. Like, it just felt like he was just where he was supposed to be at all times, vocally and in his performance. Like you said, those lows were delicious. Like, they were really, really, really solid. And then, like, the song is one that kind of floats, continues to float up and up and up. And the higher he went in his register, it was like, oh, that tone is continuing to be gorgeous. Oh, like it was just so good. Did you hear the vibrato at the end of some of his lines?
Yeah.
I was like, you better give me vibrato at the ends of your lines. Like, it was so tasteful because it wasn't like rickety and rigid. Like, it was just like these really cool flutters at the end of the lines that just sounded so good. I think that this was a brilliant song choice for his voice, because for as low as it is and how high as it gets, he had the voice to display all of what he can do. And so much of the feedback sometimes for artists that don't make it is that they don't show enough levels of their voice. And so not enough range. They not complain, but their feedback is often that everything kind of stays here, and they wish that they heard more range within the minute and 30 that these artists have to do their blind audition. So I thought that Brandon was really smart in his song choice and executed this song flawlessly. Flawlessly. And that is so super hard to do because the song is super hard. Yeah. Even though he made it look so easy.
It was a gorgeous rendition of a gorgeous song.
Absolutely. Yes.
Her would be proud.
Yes.
Her would be very proud. So who
Absolutely.
did Brandon wind up choosing?
This was a tricky one because Miss Reba hit her button first, and she also blocked John. So John was out of the running, even though he did end up hitting his button. But Brandon did not go with Reba. He ended up going with Coach Gwen.
Gwen.
Woo!
Great choice. Great choice. I think Gwen will really tap into his individuality and his feeling and his just, because we know a previous contestant, Justin, who was with Gwen, and Justin gave us some insight into what type of coach Gwen is. And she's really a good coach. Absolutely. I don't know why more people don't choose her.
Yeah, don't sleep on Coach Gwen.
Not only is she maternal, from what we understand, Gwen also has very nice analogies. Like she just in an analogy of like, look at the rock singers and how they jump all over the stage, and you can relate that to, you know, preachers and Gwen is next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome pickup for Gwen.
Yes.
I see Brandon going very far in the competition.
I hope so. I hope so.
All right. So Stephanie, who do we have next?
Next up is a return from last season. We have Al Boogie, 37 years old, from Mansfield, Louisiana, and he sang Pickup Man by Joe Diffie.
I said, you know what? First of all, Al, congratulations on the 50-pound weight loss, dude. Like, you look great. Second of all, I said, you know, he has such a commercial voice. Mm-hmm. Like commercial, not like run-in-the-mill commercial sounding. No, like he could do commercials.
No, 1,000%.
Like he could do voiceovers. It was very strange because I was like, it's almost as if when he sings country, he doesn't have an accent. It's like a person that does commercials that sings country music and talks like this.
1,000%.
It was like, I said, very clear. I said, this is a sweetheart of a dude. Mm-hmm. I said, the only thing I did, because I thought, I was like, you know what? I'm just trying to make it on this show. And then I'm going to show you what I can do.
Right.
I said, the only thing that I would watch as far as singing technique-wise is watch your falsetto. I thought the falsetto was a little bit rocky. But you have a very strong, clear singing voice. And I really can't wait to hear, because I hear this in his voice, a commercial or very clear, very good diction. I hear him singing other genres very well.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what Al's going to do.
Yes, absolutely. This is where I think the blind factor of the blind audition did not help Al.
Okay.
I think that when you have a country voice that is so, I'm going to say it like he said it, like 90s honky tonk as his, it can almost sound like a caricature or inauthentic.
Right.
So I think that the judges were trying to figure out whether he was being authentic or whether he was making himself sound like that. If you were to have watched him as we were, you could see, and to see his B-roll as well, you could see that this dude is authentic.
Oh, very
There
much.
would not have been a question if they were able to see him. But I think with it being blind, I think that's where there might have been a disconnect and why people weren't turning for him as quickly as they might have had they seen him. Niall kind of co-signed on your commercial comment because he said that he felt like the performance lacked a little bit of passion, which means that it didn't seem as personal, which put into question the inauthenticity of it. I think moving forward, Al is not going to have a problem showing that because he seems like a really good dude, a really real dude, a really authentic dude. And so I was really glad that the coach that turned for him did turn for him. And I can't wait to see what he does in the next round because his voice was surprisingly bright for his look. Like it was very bright. It was very welcoming. It was with a little bit of grit in there as well. A little bit of that country
jingles, right?
Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%. So can't wait to see what he does moving forward.
And who did he wind up choosing?
Miss Reba.
That's right.
Yes.
And Reba's going to bring it out. Reba's going to be like, okay, Al Boogie, give me some
That's right.
country, boy. Give me
That's
some
right.
country. I know you are country.
That's right.
Give me some country.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So the next two singers we didn't get to hear much of.
That's right.
Only a snippet.
A very small snippet.
Now, I must say, when I heard of these two, I was like, yo.
I was like, give me more. I was quoting Britney Spears in my head. I was like, give me more, give me more, give me more. Because it was powerful.
So the first singer was CORii with two eyes, right?
Yes.
And what did she sing?
Yes, she's from Morristown, New Jersey, 32 years old, and she sang Scared to Be Lonely by Martin Garrix and Dua Lipa. Powerful.
I said, I love what I heard. I said, the rasp of it all. Come on, girl.
And the falsetto of it all.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yes.
But that's all we got. But she did go on. Who did she pick?
Coach Reba.
Yes. And then we had
Crystal Nicole, 41 years old, doing Only Girl by Rihanna. But guess who wrote the song? Crystal Nicole.
Oh,
incredible.
I think they're holding out. I think they were like, okay, we can't give them too much, y'all. We can't give them too much. I'm the only girl in the world. Hey, that's my. Hey, that's the
yes
party rock song. Come on.
Yes, absolutely.
So can't wait to see them in the battles. Oh, it's deep, y'all. It's so deep that they're only showing snippets of these good of singers. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Please.
Right.
Okay, so who do we have next?
Well, just want to mention that she also went with Coach Reba.
Oh, right. Of course. Reba with, come on, Reba, Team Eclectic.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so who is our next performer?
Next up was Elizabeth Evans, 22 years old, from Nashville, Tennessee, and she sang All I Wanted by Paramore.
I don't understand what is going on at Belmont University. I don't get it. Do you know how many singers have come on this show singing it down from Belmont University?
Lots.
I said, Elizabeth gave us funky, new age rocker. I said, I love the song. I said, she has an exciting voice range, crazy range. I said, the drama of it all with her voice. I said, it just kept getting stronger and stronger as it went up. So that means she has very good technique.
Yes.
Very good training.
Yes.
In the popular music genre of singing that she was. And when I went back and put her in my good ears this morning, I had to listen to it twice because I was catching some things. I said, of all of the singers on this show, she has some of the most beautiful evenness of all of the singers on this show. I said she was as incredible in her lows as she was in her highs.
Absolutely.
Giving the right amount of breast support, the right amount of volume, the right amount of strength.
Yes.
From all the way down to all the way to the top. And it was just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous singing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She went from her chest voice to more chest voice. She never did a falsetto. For as high and low she was in her register, she never went into a falsetto. It was all full voice. It was so impactful. It was so dynamic. It was like Haley Williams, and no disrespect to Haley Williams at all, but it was just like she took that kind of vocal and just shifted it into another gear. Like, she is one of those ones, James, like you say, they pull you in, like almost by your collar. Like, that's what she was having me do. Like, it was just, she would just shift gears. And she's a little thing. Like, she is such a little thing. And when Reba turned around and looked at her, you could tell that was her reaction. Like, all of this power, all of this range, all of these dynamics, all of this performance, all of this, everything was coming from such a small package. It was absolutely incredible.
Did you notice, though, how she never lost control of her voice?
No, she controlled that entire performance. It's one of those performances where she was in full control, but she was emoting crazy. Okay,
Yes.
she was emoting crazy because of
Good stuff.
the dynamics of the song, and that is telling a story. Like that storyteller quality, because there was passion and rage behind what she was singing, and I felt it all, and I wanted more, and I was so captivated by her and her performance. Incredible, incredible.
Mm. And just so unique, so different.
Yes.
So not a run-of-the-mill singer. That's
Not
the thing that's going to be so hard come downstream with this season.
That's right.
So many singers that are not your run-in-the-mill diva,
That's
R&B
right.
diva, a rock divo, it's
Yes.
just their voices are just so many different colors.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And you don't even know, they need categories all by themselves as far as how to judge them.
That's
how
right.
can you? It's
That's right.
so eclectic, which I guess is our word for the day.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Stephanie, who did she end up going with?
Welcome to Team Legend. Come on, John.
I was shocked with that one. I thought she was going to choose Gwen.
Yeah, I was shocked too. Happily shocked, though.
I would have thought if Gwen did or did not turn around with her, that she would have gone with Gwen. But another huge pickup for John.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So who was our last performance? Who was actually our leak for the weekend? We got to marinate all in this over the weekend, and Lord, did we get to marinate?
Yes.
So who was she?
She is Nini Iris, 27 years old, from Brooklyn, New York, by way of the country of Georgia. And she sang I See Red by Everybody Loves an Outlaw. Now, if y'all were paying attention to the commercials prior to this season airing, she was the vocal that you heard on those commercials. My.
The voice of the voice, y'all.
The voice of the voice.
Of the voice.
My.
That's all we're going to say. Hey, come on. I said from the very first note, Nini, from the very first note. I don't know what they're doing over in there in that Baltic country they call Georgia. I don't get it. But girlfriend, you are a star.
Star.
You're a star. I said the range, the runs, the holler or holleration, as Stephanie likes to say. I said to her voice, I said she sang with grit. She sang with passion. She sang with purpose. I said she gave us pop. She gave us rock. She gave us R&B. I said Kelly Clarkson and Christina Aguilera, watch out.
Watch your back.
And I don't say that lightly.
Nope.
Because they're two of the best singers alive.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned. They're two of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But this young lady, I'm going to let Stephanie talk to, a little bit about her story and about what we heard when she sang. I just, oh gosh, it was crazy.
If there was no B-roll and we didn't know what some of her background was, I knew that she had a struggle in her past because she sang through her struggle. She emoted struggle. She emoted grind. She emoted grit. She emoted that she was going to make it through. So some of her backstory was when she got to Brooklyn, from the country of Georgia, wanting to live out her dream. There was a time at the beginning of her coming over to the U.S. where she had to sleep on a subway train for a couple of days. And, thank God things progressed. She was able to get a job, an apartment, all the rest. But her performance, her confidence, and her vocal just spoke that story. And I feel like that's what kind of performer she's going to be. She is going to emote that power, that perseverance through every performance that she does. I said that she had a vocal cord. She had Pink, she had Christina Aguilera, and she had some Linda Perry, like all rolled up into her throat. it was so dynamic, yet so effortless. Like the way she was, it was just coming out of her. She commanded the stage. Like there was one point where I loved, where she just kind of like threw out her arm and was just like, she was just fully immersed into this performance. And it was almost like an out of body experience. I felt like for her, like she was just like, I am not going to throw away my shot. Like, this is my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. And no wonder.
You heard the hustle in her voice.
Yes, yes.
Like you can tell. Yes. Pounding that pavement, hustling.
Yes.
Again, hustling. But the joy of singing.
Come on. Come on, Joy.
I saw such joy on her face, and to Stephanie's point that she always made, her fingertips were singing. Like she was singing, her entire body.
Yes.
Like,
love it.
It was just such a light emoting from her. It was just, yeah, you couldn't deny it. It was undeniable. She's another one, like Miss Roar, like Miss Jackie Roar, who like the chairs had to turn around.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. They wouldn't even hit the button. They'd be like, he's like,
listen.
I said, girl, you don't sing that song.
You better sing that song now.
It was so good. I am so excited for her. She is going to storm through the competition.
1000%.
Storm through the competition.
Yes.
Woo! Nini, wow. What a way to end the evening.
Yes.
Well, Stephanie, another...
Who she went with?
Oh. Well, Stephanie, who did she pick? I truly can't remember now. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I remember. Who did she go with?
Nini went with Coach Nile.
Oh, my gosh. Nile, Nile's like, okay, I don't need anymore. Like, she's that good. Nile could probably be like, okay, well, I'm done. I don't need any more people on my team. I got Nini. Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all got to check her out. Insanity.
Absolutely.
All right. Absolutely. So another amazing evening. I really can't wait for tonight. I so look forward to this every week. Stephanie even said to me in chat, she said, we're going to have so much fun today because Stephanie and I, like you all know, we love a good vocal and a good performance, and we've been getting it nonstop this season. It's like almost too much to handle.
It really is.
It's like I call Stephanie like every 5 minutes. And I was like, Stephanie, oh my God. And she's like, yo! And it's just nonstop. And
that's right.
We're here for it, and we love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Stephanie, tell them what they need to hear.
Sure. So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. And also check us out on YouTube. Please search for the Pitchy podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And last, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Pitchy podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all tomorrow with night 6 of the Blind Auditions. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.